Hey guys, it's Laura here, and today I'm sharing a Christmas or a winter scrapbook layout that I'm making. And for most of this page, I think I will be using Crepe Paper's Fa La La line or their Snow and Cocoa line. So my layout will be based around this photo of a friend and I at a Christmas market that Charlotte had. And it had all of these really cute little vendors with different foods and drinks and homemade gift items. So it was really neat and pretty, and I love that picture. And my idea for this page, you can see I cut out a giant triangle here out of just some scrap white paper. And my idea is to decorate different layers of this triangle with different pattern papers and then to decorate it like a giant Christmas tree. So I am going to get started, and I hope you guys enjoy this process video.
The colors of the photo kind of dictated the direction I wanted to take for the different layers I would put in my Christmas tree. My friend was wearing a dark green jacket, and I was wearing a pink scarf over top of a black jacket. And the pink scarf also kind of reflected the pink tones in my face and the blonde in my hair, and she has red hair. And then the background of the photo was like a light bluish color. So I knew I kind of wanted to do some pastel stuff, like some light pinks and some light blues, as well as some dark greens to help bring those colors that are in the photo over to the Christmas tree that I want to put on the other side of the page. And you could see me cut out some patterned paper from one of those crepe paper lines, and I also have a little stack here of other strips of paper I have cut out, and I rearrange them a whole bunch of times before I ever glue or tape anything down. And I wanted to make sure that I had every layer of the Christmas tree set up before I started gluing. And here you can see how I create that rumpled paper. It is kind of like a ruffled, crumpled up look. And I take the pink paper and I crush it into a ball and put lots of wrinkles in it. And then I smooth it back out, and I use my scissors to cut little vertical lines all throughout that paper there. And then once I have cut all of those vertical slices up that paper, I just kind of ruffle the little bits back and forth. And that creates the beautiful fringe trim that you see on the tree in all of those pink layers. And then I'm also grabbing some silver glitter paper, and I think that's super beautiful too. I love the sparkle that it adds to my page because you know I need a little bit of sparkle in my Christmas layouts. I rearrange all of the papers over top of that triangle until I am really happy with the layers that are on my Christmas tree there, and that everything has a good balance between all of the darker colors and all of the lighter colors, as well as a good balance between the warmer colors and the cooler colors, because I have some pinks on there, but then I also have a lot of blues, and I wanted to make sure that everything was kind of evenly distributed without having to follow the same repeating pattern up that tree, because I wanted the layers to look intentional, but also like they weren't a repeating pattern all the way up the tree. Like they were just pretty layers throughout the tree. Once I'm pleased with how the triangle looks, I start taping all of my layers down, and I start at the bottom of the Christmas tree and I work my way up. That way every layer is on top of the previous layer, and that helps give it a lot of texture and that layered look where all of the fringe layers are hanging out there and you can kind of interact with them, and it gives the tree a lot of texture. and a lot of dimension, and I really love that. Even though I kind of finalized the layers, I wanted to keep my photo right there so I can make sure that as I was taping everything down, that everything looked balanced and that everything looked really good together as I was gluing everything down.
Okay, so I finished my Christmas tree here, and now I'm going to trim off all of the extra scraps that are hanging off of my initial triangle shape.
I thought about leaving some of the layers kind of jagged on the Christmas tree. That way it would have that look that Christmas trees naturally have, where they poke outward at every layer and the layers aren't all totally perfect and make a perfect triangle up the sides when you look at the shape. But I didn't want to have to worry about making all of those layers perfect and getting all of those angles just right. So I flip over my triangle and I just cut out the triangle exactly as it was. And I think it ends up looking pretty good. I think I would have liked the jagged layers as well, but I didn't want to take the extra time because I knew this layout was already going to be very time intensive. Once I have finished with that, I decide that I want to decorate my Christmas tree a little, and I grab out some different enamel dots and some sequins, and I try to figure out what I want to decorate my tree with. And you can see I tried some hot pink stars there, and it did not work out the way I wanted. It just kind of cluttered up the tree. But as soon as I found these glitter silver little Christmas tree light strings, I loved them, and I knew I wanted to include them because they play off of the different silver glitter paper layers in the Christmas tree. So the colors were just right, and I didn't think that they would distract from the tree too much. And then you could see me grab some ephemera packs there or some chipboard stickers and see what I might be interested in adding to the tree and adding around my page. I just want to start getting my elements together and get a final vision for how this will look like, since my initial plan included that big Christmas tree and my photo, but I didn't really know what else I would do from there.
So the plain white background was bothering me. I thought it was kind of boring. And so I grabbed these watercolors and then also some white glitter and some Elmer's glue. And I just decorated the page a little bit. There's some green and red watercolor on there and then some white sparkles. And I didn't really use any particular technique. I just put some water on the page and blotted some watercolors on there with my brush, and the same, I just drew some lines with glue and then covered those with glitter. Now that I've got my background done, I am going to get started on putting my page together.
The watercolor background did not turn out exactly how I had envisioned. The colors look very abrupt and bright. They weren't quite as subtle as I was hoping they would be. But, at this point it's done, and I really love the white glitter that's on there, and I do love the colors that I chose. They just weren't blended out very well. But I figure I'm going to work with what I have, and I definitely don't want to start all over. So I start gluing down my Christmas tree, and then I know I want to put a couple of layers behind my photo, just some of those different patterned papers that are in the Christmas tree to help pop my photo up. And then I'm also going to put foam dots behind my photo. That way they are up off of the page and that the photo sticks up, since the Christmas tree has a lot of dimension on it. And I want my photo to be even closer to the eye than the Christmas tree. So I pop those up on foam dots, as you will end up seeing. And once I have my tree down, I play around with some of the different chipboard elements that I want to include. I know I love that cute little bird from that Snow and Cocoa line by Crepe Paper. And that little pink Christmas tree is super cute too. So I'm trying to figure out where I want all of my different paper layers to go and where I want to include these different chipboard stickers. The page looks like it has too much going on for me though, so I decided that I want to change out those Christmas lights on the tree, and I've had these little pieces in my stash forever, so I know I want to use them on the tree, and I love the silver glitter on them, but that bright green just wasn't working. It was distracting from everything else going on in the layout. So I painted all of the green foam parts of that embellishment white. And once I put those on the Christmas tree painted white, it looks so much better and less distracting. And you can see I also grabbed some alphabet stickers and I put down a title in red and then also an ampersand on the side of our photograph. Then you could see me rearranging some of the different elements on my page and working with some of those chipboard pieces from the different crepe paper lines. My little chipboard bird, I love him, but he looks like he's just floating on top of my photo. So I grabbed one of those plaid pieces of paper from crepe paper and I do a little plaid ruffle with it there, and I just fold it up and then I use my tiny attacher to staple it to my photo, and that helps anchor the bird a little. And I use some double-sided tape to make sure that stays stuck to the page because as it was, my bird was floating on top of my photo, which was risen up off the page with those foam dots. So now everything's kind of anchored down a little bit and looks a lot better and isn't just floating up off of the page. Then I grabbed some silver sequins and I kind of create a trail diagonally across my page there. And I love how that looks. It brings the silver out of the Christmas tree and helps bring it up across the page and make that visually appealing diagonal line towards my photo. And then I grab a chipboard red snowflake and I add that by my bird as well. I know I want to make a tiny cluster there. I also end up grabbing one of these ephemera pieces from the Fa La La ephemera pack. And I put that below my bird. And then I just use some glue dots to glue down all of my silver sequins. And I figure I'm going to add some enamel dots because I want a little more red there. And I play around with placement a little bit, but I end up deciding to keep that visual triangle of red going with the little red by my bird, the red on the other side of my photo where the ampersand is, and then the red at the bottom with my title. Then after that, I play around with my pen and I do my journaling. And you can see me move my pen around the page, and that's to see how black looks on different parts of the page so I know where to put my journaling. And then I got to figure out the date for my photo. So I look on my camera roll and figure out the date that was taken. And I write the date down on my page as well. And that wraps up my layout. I super love it. And, you know, in the end, those watercolors being really obnoxious didn't end up bothering me. I think it came together really beautifully and lovely and still simple, even though there's a lot going on. I think it was a good decision to paint those Christmas tree lights white.
This is my finished layout. Thank you guys so much for watching. I think it turned out super cute and I love it. Please make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more scrapbooking and memory keeping things. And let me know in the comments down below what you thought of this process video. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Have a great day.